Good afternoon, sir. I hope you've had time to go around the campus. You did?
A little bit this morning. I woke up at 5 o'clock, and at 6 I took a walk. Beautiful. I found I was the only one taking a walk. No students, nobody else, but it was beautiful. A little misty and a little dust pollution, I think, because of your construction.
So, though nowhere near the Nalanda campus, as you said yesterday, but what do you think about the IIT Patna campus?
I think you're at an early growing stage, so you're on a right footing. At this stage, it's too early to comment, but I expressed my views in today morning's session. So you need to build it up. You need strong foundations, and the foundations don't come from buildings. And even if your buildings, my suggestion is like Nalanda, they must be close to nature. So if you have multi-story buildings, it's like jungle mein mangal. You are losing touch with nature. As it is, we don't look at the birds, but if you are living in an ivory tower, that's a problem with urbanization. So my wish is, if you have a 500-acre campus, like in Madras, we have a 640 forest, we avoid multi-story to the maximum till we are forced to go up. So you must spread horizontally, and when there's a compulsion, go vertically. So to me, this is something that you should reflect on. That's all I can say.
You've in the past, through your books and your lectures, talked about spiritual awareness for academic success. So, how conducive do you think the present IIT system is in this regard?
You can't blame the IIT system. The IIT system gives so much freedom. At one point, I did not even think that introducing courses like self-awareness and integral karma yoga would be possible. But anything is possible if you are known to be successful in your prime occupation, which is practicing engineering. And if you've already got, you're well known as a good teacher. We have best teacher awards based on feedback. Then it's a lot easier. It's this guy has something to offer. And so initially there's a lot of resistance. Once you launch the course, then you find the word spreads and students rush, so much so that they're heavily oversubscribed, and there's no stopping it. So no other system can allow this other than the IIT system. No university will allow it. Yes. And we have faculty from abroad, NTNU Norway, who stayed 1 full year to attend both these courses. An MS student came and did research on what's the change in the students. And last semester for our self-awareness course, we had 18 students from Europe, so-called exchange students. 18, 1 out of a class of 100, who came all the way and who said, so, but it goes hopefully to the deserving few. The vast majority is, and that's how it's always been like that.
So, this is a question from our sophomore year students. What specializations in civil engineering do you see emerging in the next 5 to 10 years? And what specializations do you see as having better career prospects?
Well, first I want students to understand, and I spoke about this yesterday, is that only weak students ask these questions. Because you're again going by market economy, which means you don't have anything to offer. You are seeking guarantees from the external world. You are asking, where will I fit in that market? Well, first of all, the market may be all aligned in a wrong direction, like your tall buildings here so even if that's a market, that's not the right market. So you have to have that compass in you, which in our tradition said a recognition of true Swabhava, your true Swadharma, and the markets will come on their own. When the Shishya is ready, the Guru will come. And don't do things which are obviously wrong. So a student who asks for market is a student who lacks confidence, who is in a state where he's desperate to get a job. No, it's the reverse. You have something to offer the world. That's my first reaction. And I know that in good companies, they actually want such students. They want people who have something solid to offer. So let's say you identify that you want to work, let's say it's structural engineering, and you go to the best design office in the whole country. And you walk in and the first thing they'll say is, no, for freshers we have no space. Then you say, can you hear that noise? That is how, you have to have self-awareness too. That is how the construction sector operates. Everybody's screaming at everybody else. There's no wellness. Suppose you're screamed at, you want to close your ear.
There's no peace.
Huh?
There's no peace.
So you can't even do good work if that's how. So even design officers sometimes work like that when you're under pressure. So you're sure, and you've had exposure to some great teacher, let us say, you watched videos and you say, this is an area I want to explore. You're not even sure. And you know in that company there's some great people, but it's very difficult to get them. So you offer. So I'm from IIT Patna. And I can understand why you're saying no, because you don't know me. And ours is a new IIT. But I know that I can work hard. I know I'm here to learn. And I've always enjoyed learning structural engineering. So here's the deal. Sir, I offer my services absolutely free. You check me out. So when someone talks like this, and you go and meet straight the top man, you say, okay, I'll check you out. And then you prove yourself. And do you think they'll take anybody for free? No. And so you are not competing with other people. You're competing with your own self. You want to rise to your full potential. You want to become the eagle that you were meant to be, not the chicken. So that's the first thing. So strong, good people know that you're like a seed of a banyan tree. The banyan tree is hidden in the seed and is waiting to unfold. So find out what you love instead of asking, where will I get a job? And to me, that your very question is coming from your brainwashed, conditioned samskaras, which is not what this country wants. But since you asked the question,
It's hard to grasp, but yes.
why is it hard to grasp? You are the
We've
infinite.
been conditioned that way.
Sorry? Conditioning, samskara. That way, even if you take the most marketed job, you will not find fulfillment, you will not find wellness, or you will be disappointed.
Yes.
Anityam asukham lokam, that's what the Gita says. So I would put you on the right track and say, don't ask these questions. But since you raised it, yes, the domains that really need attention today is the problems that technology itself has created. So you have a huge problem of pollution. You have a huge problem of maintenance. We have bridges, railway bridges in our country which are more than 100 years old. They've outlived themselves. But we can't, if we say that all have to be demolished and fresh one built, it's not possible. So you have to understand life cycle. You have to understand sustainability. The whole future hangs on sustainability. You have to get materials which are more sustainable. You have to have new ways of thinking in all disciplines, in infrastructure. So that's the need. But what is your inner calling is what I would more focus on individually. You don't worry about where is the market. Yeah. It's like in JE counseling, parents come and ask, sir, is metallurgical engineering in IIT Madras better or is aerospace engineering in IIT Kanpur? How can you answer that question?
We've all done that.
So you are asking a similar question.
Yes.
So you have not grown up. So that's my first advice. Develop self-confidence.
Yes.
Isn't that what Swami Vivekananda wanted all of us to do? Arise, awake.
And stop
Not in the book. You're saying, and you're named after him, Narendranath. You of all the people are asking, where is the goal?
Yes. Maybe society's turned aside. Okay. Your books on reinforced concrete design and structural analysis are very popular among the students. So, how do you feel about this, and what thoughts have you put behind those books?
I don't know. It's Purvashram. It's been years since I wrote those books. Each of them took 5 years.
But they
to
came at a time when India needed those technologies.
Yeah, because we are totally brainwashed in thinking that only books published in the Western world. In fact, our entire curriculum is dictated by the Western world. We don't have good Indian books. We don't have any self-confidence in our own capabilities. Again, exactly the opposite of what Swami Vivekananda said. And you talked of Nalanda, and the center of the world was here. So you need to first understand and share what you understand. So that is the meaning of satsang. Sat really means your own being, and sang means sharing it. And whether people buy or read is secondary to me. But the feedback is so overwhelming, you feel fulfilled that some good has come. But I see myself only as an instrument for that flow to have taken place. So really, I didn't write those books. The books were written, and I was just an instrument to enable that. My wish is I don't really bother which book you read and study. Do you understand? Do you enjoy what you learn? That's all that matters. Who writes a book? Finally, I believe there's only one divine being which unfolds in all manifestations. Who is the author, who is the creator is all absolutely irrelevant from the ultimate point of view.
That's a great way to think. And this one, I don't think I want to ask this question after the answer you gave, but give it a try. The campus placement rate for civil engineering in the current economy is the lowest among the traditionally top 5 branches. So, what would you attribute this trend to? And what suggestions do you have for the students to increase their employment?
I would say not to worry. Not to worry. See, life in manifestation is like a tidal wave. So we identify with the wave and we are saying current and future. Everything is going to change. What was once on top will slowly descend to its nadir. What was once at the bottom will slowly. If there's any one school of engineering which will outlive everything else, it is civil engineering. Because buildings cannot last forever. Buildings will be demolished. Fresh ones. Shelter, roti, kapda, makan is one of the primal needs of man. Infrastructure is needed, water is needed, sanitation is needed, pollution has to be controlled. So, as a division of civil engineering, I have no qualms in saying it will outlive everything else. But again, is that your inner calling? That's all I would ask you to. And you don't worry about, don't be so dependent on. And if you're good, nothing to worry. But if you're weak, then society has to worry because you're not the right person to do the job that you're meant to do. You understand?
Yes.
if you're a borderline case, uh, I don't know, I'll be worried about the kind of construction you will supervise or the kind of bridges you build because your heart is not there, your soul is not there. You don't have the knowledge, you don't have the skills, you don't even have the right attitude by the very question you're asking. I don't want India to be filled with mediocre people. And the tragedies, you all have that high potential which is going waste in whichever domain you're meant to. So, don't you agree we must have the fundas clear?
Yes.
The fundamentals are all skewed. You are talking of survival. I want excellence and mastery, and I believe everyone has that potential. Which it's a tragedy if it's going waste. Do you agree?
Yes. I've never thought in that direction.
Why?
It never
You're
occurred to
an
me
IIT
that was
student.
the way
You're
to
an
do it.
IITian. You're meant to have elevated thoughts. That's why we produce IITs. You're not thinking like a desperate person who has no self-confidence. Why don't you have self-confidence? Don't you understand what you're learning? Don't you see your need, your obligation to society? Then where is the problem? It's all imagined.
Yes. We'll proceed to the next. So, before becoming globally famous as a professor of structural engineering, you also worked as a structural engineer. So, what would you say? Industry or research?
That's a good question you asked. When we were students, teaching was the last thought that comes to your mind. And I was eager to practice. And when I joined the company in Delhi, which we got through campus placement, 90% of my classmates migrated to the US. And I didn't want to, I wanted to do something here. I also did a part-time MTech in IIT Delhi while I was there. So I suddenly realized I didn't know anything, and I was badly exposed by the boss, who himself was an ex-IIT professor. And the first project they gave me was a simple house to design, and we didn't understand masonry. He asked me, you need a beam because the slab size is too large. And how do you check whether the beam needs a bearing? Because the masonry will get crushed. So I was badly exposed. And I suddenly knew all this IIT topper business doesn't mean anything in the field. And I was humiliated. And he did it meaning well. But I was determined that whatever I missed in my learning, I will master it. So it was a long struggle. We used to work 16 hours a day until we learned, gained confidence. Then the company I joined was so nice that instead of doing small bits, we were given big projects. So you can see the big picture. And then I started my own company with a couple of architects, and we were getting these big projects. And then I realized the other issue was an ethical issue. We did a project for a township in Kanpur. And we really slogged and did it. But then we found to get our legitimate payment, we had to give bribes. That was a major turning point in my life. I knew something was wrong. I said, this is not the success that I want. And all the big projects are with the government. Drove me inward and said, what's the whole point of life? And I asked people, and I suddenly realized nobody knew. Everybody was lost in the world of samsara that I talked about. And they said, if you want the answers, maybe you will go to the Himalayas. So I did just that. Traveled and spent. I got much more clarity. And when I came back, it really resolved everything. And then I really wished for a source of income which was clean, and I don't need to worry about it. And through a series of fortuitous circumstances, I ended up teaching in academics. And when I took the first class, I knew I was born to teach. That was by sheer accident. And then, whatever little contempt I had for the teaching community completely changed, because as a practicing engineer, you would think the academics don't know anything, they only know theory. But I suddenly realized the power of going deeper into the theory and knowing practice and trying to bridge that gap, which we tried to show in the talk that we gave to you. So, and suddenly I realized the need to be humble and say that we really have much more to learn. There's no way you can get mastery over everything. We must have a beginner's mind and enjoy learning. Enjoy learning from mistakes. Enjoy challenging questions which either a project poses or a student poses. So we are not just academics. We are people enjoying life. And hopefully, what we have to offer is useful to the world. And all this world famous professor and all, I don't understand. Those things are not important at all.
What changes in the Indian education system do you feel are necessary to produce engineers that are employable again?
A lot of changes. I tell you, fundamentally, our problem is Yatha Guru Tatha Shishya, Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. We have a vacuum in leadership. We have no clarity on what education is. So I would like to go back to our rishis who really had full understanding of what education should be. It has to be a holistic education. I talked about it yesterday. And that is difficult to introduce because we are following the Macaulay model. Lord Macaulay introduced a Western system thinking that the Indian system is no good. But there are good things in the traditional Indian system which we kind of throw away the baby with the bathwater, the wisdom tradition. And the West has a lot to offer. How do we integrate everything so that we do the right thing? So to me, that fundamental core of education, which is to bring well-being to all, is badly missing. And then all your questions are a reflection of that. And you're looking for outer well-being. You're looking for it in jobs, in money, in security, not knowing who you truly are. And when you discover who you truly are, the whole equation changes. And you're not, someone desperate looking for security. You find that you don't need those things, and you have a lot to offer. Everything changes. To me, that is. So there is a process of waking up to who you truly are. The process of growing up. That means developing those faculties which you are uniquely gifted with, and merging of the two. Traditional Indian spirituality has ignored growing up, and they used to see the world as something illusory, mithya, and we aim for moksha. That's not what the rishis did. That's not what the Gita says. So we have to be pragmatic, and Vivekananda talked about practical Vedanta, for example, and show that everything can be manifested, and it's possible to bring that perfection in everything we do. That's what you need in education. And there's only one way to achieve that kind of mastery. You must be exposed to that kind of learning. So I wish IIT Patna comes close to the Nalanda that is nearby. So that was, nothing is impossible. But you must have a vision, you must also exemplify it in your own life. That's the only way people will understand. Agree?
Yeah, completely.
Done? Thank you very much. Namaste.